There are good prospects that the issues that most torment our existence are not the grand questions involving humanity, such as the origin of the universe, what existed before it, or whether we are alone in this vast cosmic space. Not that these topics lack interest, but rather because the vast majority of us are too consumed by everyday vicissitudes, financial obligations to fulfill, worldly desires to satisfy, the inherent uncertainties of life to face, and the profound aspirations of the heart to seek. However, few among us would consider seeking answers to these deep anxieties within the realm of philosophy. And indeed, philosophy, while inherently concerned with substantial questions, often drifts away from everyday reality. Yet it is precisely here that Stoicism reveals its uniqueness. At the core of this understanding are misunderstandings caused by those who advise us to debate, but not to live. There are also mistakes made by students who seek their masters to expand not their souls, but their cleverness. Thus, philosophy, once the study of wisdom, has transformed into philology, the study of words. And if there is any philosophical school that directs its attention predominantly to real existence, that is applicable to everyone, that has maintained its relevance for more than 2 millennia, and that resonates so vibrantly today, it is Stoicism.
What could define more fittingly a philosophy that counts among its notable proponents Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, and possibly the most powerful man of his time, and Epictetus, a physically impaired slave? These two extremes converge in the third great name of Stoicism, Seneca, one of the brightest minds of the Roman Empire. Seneca, who oscillated between positions of high importance in the Senate, exile, and a return to glory, only to be sentenced to death by the Emperor Nero. The weight of leadership, the suffering attached to slavery, the impending despair of decline, and the inescapable fear of death do not seem at all distant from the challenges we face in modern times. So how did the Stoics face such difficulties and all the others that life cruelly presents us? They fervently believed in the doctrine that proclaimed, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Epictetus, a key figure in Stoicism, distinguishes between external experience, the circumstances that lie outside the realm of our mind, and internal experience, namely, our personal interpretations and reactions to these circumstances. Essentially, a separation is made between what we can control and what is beyond our dominion. It is a way of directing our energy only towards what is truly within our control. For regardless of our effort, we will never have complete dominion over external events. The opinions others hold of us, our position in the job market, and even our health.
Naturally, we must seek success and take care of our health, but the uncertainty of fate remains unshaken. The only area over which we have absolute control is our interpretation and response to events. Aphorisms like, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," uttered by Marcus Aurelius, take on a new dimension when we realize he wrote them primarily for himself in a sort of intimate journal, later published as Meditations. When Marcus Aurelius expresses, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one," he inadvertently rebukes himself, but also admonishes us. Faced with the work of the man who held supremacy over vast domains, considered the last among the 5 good emperors of Rome, it is remarkable that he chose to examine his own virtue not in the light of his greatness, but through the lens of integrity. Marcus Aurelius recognized that actions speak louder than words, and even surrounded by all the pomp of power, aspired to be a good and just man. He rightly concluded that very little is truly necessary for a prosperous life. Everything we need lies within the core of our own perception, within the core of our way of thinking. This idea, fundamental to Stoicism, echoes in Seneca's words, "Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. We've been using them not because we needed them, but because we had them."
In this dialogue, the nobility of Stoic philosophy is clearly highlighted, with a detailed exploration of the principles that underlie the Stoic approach to life's challenges. It's remarkable how a thought, which is increasingly proving true in a world immersed in rampant consumerism, now finds its home in the contemporary resurgence of minimalism as a lifestyle. Curiosity arises as we note that what was recorded 2 millennia ago, in a time when abundance was in its infancy compared to today, arrives at similar conclusions to those now emerging. and unease persists, possibly induced by our mistaken conception that happiness can be secured through the accumulation of goods and our efforts to alter what displeases us in the external panorama. Again, we find the Stoic principles resurfacing, with their unwavering clarity in asserting that the transformation must occur internally, at the core of our thought process. Seneca, with his timeless eloquence, stated, "If you genuinely long to escape the circumstances that afflict you, what is necessary is not to find a distinct place, but to become a distinct person." The unchanging fact is that we cannot evade our own essence. Wherever we go, our own company reaches us. This raises the question, would it be possible to achieve tranquility of the soul, regardless of external circumstances, however diverse they may be?
Epictetus, at the heart of one of the most demanding and austere branches of Stoicism, declares unabashedly, "Amid illness, find happiness. In threats, find happiness. In death, find happiness. In exile, find happiness. In adversity, find happiness." This assertion gains magnitude when we consider the author, whose biography is intricately woven with the hardships of slavery and the scars of his own physical disability. He speaks from tangible experience. He is not just a theorist, but someone who witnessed the genesis of his words in his own journey. Interestingly, Epictetus, a name that is not his actual name as his birth name remains shrouded in mystery, has a connotation that means acquired or bought. This coincidence carries profound meaning, as Seneca expressed, "Sometimes to live itself is an act of courage." It is important to emphasize that Stoicism does not advocate a passive stance towards injustices or mere submission to the evils that may arise. Seneca, for instance, was an advocate for humanity in the treatment of slaves in his time, and Marcus Aurelius, even as he led one of the greatest empires in world history, faced crucial decisions in the midst of a tumultuous era marked by wars and the Antonine Plague. However, both held that, to incite positive transformations in others, it was imperative to first cultivate the four historical virtues: courage, justice, self-control, and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius encapsulates this approach with these words: "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it."
Imagine how enriching our existence would be if we absorbed Stoic precepts and integrated them into our journey. Serenity in the face of suffering, the art of enjoying a happy life under any circumstance, the courage to confront unexpected obstacles with integrity, self-control to not succumb to the spiral of destructive thoughts, and wisdom to discern and apply such teachings. Naturally, the path of moral and ethical mastery may seem too high, but we must not be deterred by such perspective. Epictetus recognized that a man never becomes aware of what he thinks he already knows. Furthermore, Seneca's assertion, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality, and we suffer more from what we fear than what actually happens," echoes hauntingly contemporary. Marcus Aurelius compliments, offering us an antidote against self-pity. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, remains as vital as ever, with the ability to reveal to us the true nature of the mind over the body. It is a unique philosophy, yet it's notable how it shares similarities with Buddhism, even influencing Christianity through the correspondences between Seneca and the Apostle Paul. I conclude this video expressing my gratitude to all and inviting you to subscribe to our channel, an action that encourages us to persist in content creation. Thank you very much.